What's up, CEL fans? Your favorite tambayan for some intense esports action is finally back in the arena for the CESAFI Esports League Season 3 Preseason. This week will be our final week before we head on to the preseason playoffs. Who will advance to the next stage and grab a spot in the preseason championship? We will find out as our first game today will be between USPF Panthers and the UV Green Lancers, both hungry for a satisfying win. Before we head on to that, let us thank our sponsors who have been keeping the esports fire alive and burning. So let's start with Dito Telecommunity. Ipakita ang galing saan man galing. Virginia Foods Incorporated, basta hotdog Virginia. And PC Express for all your digital needs. Special thanks as well to Crayon Lab Custom Apparel and Digital Prints and the company Cebu. That's it for now, CL fans. Don't forget that you may feel the on-game heat from the comfort of your seats, for the comfort of your seats through following our social media pages, CESAFI Esports League on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. This is Yurika, your CL host, here in the battlefield for the CESAFI Esports League Season 3, We Forge Legends.
Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Week 5, Game 1 of our preseason. Of course, we'll introduce ourselves. You love and admire. It's been a while I haven't seen you guys, and here with me is none other than
Dr. B. The doc is in. No, I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a hot minute. Life's been busy, but we're here. We're ready to enjoy some hot Mobile Legends coming in. And of course, like all our other live streams, this live stream is brought to you by our major sponsors. That is going to be PC Express, PH's leading computer and tech retailer. So if you guys are in the market for some, PC parts, anything that you guys might need. If you guys want to have your PCs repaired, if you want to buy one out of scratch, if you just want to buy a few parts,
I want to buy one.
Go on ahead up PC Express. They have all your digital needs. Once again, PC Express for all your digital needs.
And of course, let's not forget the guys who have been with us since day one. Virginia Food Incorporated, a food manufacturing company that touched the lives of Filipinos with its premium canned and frozen meat products.
That's right.
Really good, by the way.
Really
good food, by the way.
I don't think you guys don't know, but every Saturday and Sunday, what we're doing, Virginia gives us the food packs that we eat every single time for lunch, and it's I never complain. We never get
same here. And of course, let's not forget Basta Hot Dog Virginia.
That's right. And of course, this stream is also co-presented to you by Dito Telecommunity. So of course, Dito, as you know, is also an internet service provider, as well as they also have SIMs available for you guys to be able to check out. And I'm pretty sure it's not a name that you guys haven't heard before. Dito Telecommunity. Thank you very much for helping us co-present this live stream. So of course, sa Dito, bigay todo.
Of course, let's not forget to thank our minor sponsors.
That's
the
true.
First company, Cebu. As you can see,
right here,
the place that we are.
Where we at right now.
We at the company.
We at
guys,
the company.
Free to check it out if you want to study, you want to work, and a good place, a good environment. A peaceful and healthy environment.
That's true. Today. And finally, last but not least, of course, our other minor sponsor is Crayon Labs. So if you guys want to do any digital printing, you want to print something on a mug, on your tumbler, stickers, I'm talking waterproof stickers, labels, all over everywhere. It doesn't matter. Go and hit up Crayon Labs, see what they can do for you. And of course, let's jump right into our first game today, Dr. B. It's going to be USPF Panthers going up against the UV Green Lancers.
So, what do you think about these two?
Well, I mean, in between the two, we do know that USPF has already won a game previous. So this is something that kind of gets the ball rolling, especially when it comes into tournaments, right? So USPF's looking for their second win to solidify their chances to make it to the playoffs.
Just to correct you there, I think USPF
is
looking for a second win.
Yeah.
And of course, UV still a bit struggling in the preseason. They haven't gotten their first win yet, but still they have shown good performances. There were some games that they played really good, but the problem was just they weren't able to just take it home.
That's right.
Lost in the final parts.
That's right. In comparison to a lot of the teams that have shown up in the preseason, these guys are looking for convincing wins. Because so far, UV and USPF have been playing up towards their game, but when it reaches towards the end game area, a lot of teams really outshine them. So in between the two, we'll see whether or not they'll be able to grab a convincing win this time around with the preparations they made from last week.
And of course, they really need these wins to prove their position in the standings, because our playoffs is already up and coming, and they need this win for their last games. I mean, they still have games after this. They need each and every win that they can get to secure a good position.
That's true, because some teams are already doing pretty well off. Some people might even say that they've already secured some of the spots. But of course, both teams are very, very eager to, just improve their position in the standings, considering the fact that USPF has only gotten one win so far, and UV have yet to catch their first win. Again, in between these two teams, their early and mid game isn't that far off from the leading teams already in this preseason. It just so happens that in the late game, miscommunication, a lot of mistakes that are being made in the gameplay is what kind of spells the doom for these teams.
I think that the way these top teams also have been layering their strategies, like for example, making sure taking the objectives during the early game, taking up map control during the early game. I think that has been lacking for these both teams, as they have good kills during the early game, but they lack to do two things at a time. That's why when the mid game starts, during going to the late game, that's when the problems start to arise. And of course, let's go to the drafting, the banning phase.
Yes, of course, USPF is gonna be on your side here. I'm pointing the wrong direction. Right here, this is USPF, and of course we got UV right here. And so USPF already throws out the Freya ban, something that we've seen them ban a lot actually. Though we'll be able to see how this is gonna play out coming into this first game. And Ling is gonna be the obvious ban now for UV. USPF do have very, very good synergy with their core role. They are able to move around the map at a rate that is going to be alarming for UV, and of course taking the Ling out of the equation is such a good move for that.
It's really good to see Ling again back, kind of back in the middle, right? We miss Ling. We miss Ling. Like,
he's annoying. He's super annoying.
Yeah, super annoying.
But it's super fun. Yeah.
Super fun to see, fast. But 3 assassins already banned for this first set of bans. Also the Hayabusa banned right now for the UV. Arlock pick for the USPF, a very strong first pick.
That's right. It's a strong first pick, especially if they have something that they want to try and synergize with in terms of the final slash being available.
Exactly.
But usually when you go into first picks, you kind of think of supports like a Minotaur, probably an Angela even.
Matilda.
Matilda as well coming into these games. But we'll see what these teams are kind of thinking of at the moment. Usually when you're first pick, you try to pick something that isn't really that much of a priority. So when they pick the other priorities, you guys can get the most of what you guys need.
So the UV has, 2 staples in the meta right now.
Sure.
Roger in the gold lane, or I think there's not much to say about these two heroes. Is that they're really strong in their respective position. They have gotten wins a lot of times. Of course, Fredrin, very tanky, but the savior. He's actually back in the meta right now.
That's right. And here's going to be the 2 gold laners going up against each other. It's going to be a Roger and a Harith lane. And honestly, I get it. Because Harith has crazy good wave clear. So does the Roger. But at this point, UV is slowly building towards a front-to-back line to go for these team fights, because they know the Fredrin can pretty much tank everything, Esmeralda as well as their fighter there, and Roger is kind of a face-to-face kind of attacker. So USPF right now have to play a little bit on towards the poke side, which you can see in the savior pick right here in their mid lane.
Of course, Esmeralda, one of the counters to a Harith, right? But of course, you can't really say that it's such a huge counter, of course, because there's still chrono dashes. You can still this Harith is still pretty mobile, especially when the Zaman Force is already committed and is going to have pretty much unlimited chrono dashes for a clash, and it's pretty much really hard to catch, right? But of course, this can still be answered with a taunt from a Fredrin probably, or it could be bursted down easily with the Roger damage, especially in the mid to late game.
Yeah, so the Harith really has to be looking out to not get within taunt range of this Fredrin. And of course, speaking of the Chrono Dashers, he can't fully rely on his shields. Esmeralda that's going up against. Esmeralda does have a bit of CC in that Falling Star Moon, but it's only for how long? Like around 1.5 seconds at most, probably. So coming into this game, we'll see how this Harith is gonna play it out. I think he's gonna try and grab the pretty much the glass cannons coming in from UV.
Valentina picker for UV. I think a lot of choices for this Valentina probably. The Arlot.
That's true.
Arlot Final Slash or possibly the Savior.
That's a possibility. I see it. This is what he's gonna steal. He's just gonna that's it. It's over. Rest of the game. Chat. The rest of the game is
just going to focus on stealing that heavy spin.
Of course. And with a heavy spin, this is what I'm talking about. Because UV wants to go for a front to back kind of clash, because they know their lineup has most of the potential to be able to win the fights. USPF into this game. That's why the heavy spin is there to break the ranks of UV. But look,
Matilda pick here for UV. Also a very strong lineup for UV. Very easy to execute, by the way.
Such a complete lineup, from UV.
Such a complete lineup. They have the sustain.
Yeah, of course, Pinggang Pinoy lineup.
Pinoy. Exactly, and of course they have the guiding wind.
That's right.
One of the very strong utility spells, right?
Yeah, and it helps rotate a lot of times because when you do, I've seen guiding winds happen in the early game where from middle lane he travels half the distance toward another lane just from the guiding wind alone. So that's really useful for UV if they can capitalize on that rotation.
That could be for them to catch USPF off guard, especially in the early game. You know that this UV line has damage in the early game. Of course, a Valentina and an Esmeralda, they can do enough damage to get some early kills. Of course, to our game.
Right. So of course, we're gonna be jumping right into the land of dawn, ladies and gentlemen. In Week 5, Game 1, USPF going up against UV. Once again, USPF are on your blue side, while the UV Green Lancers are on your red side.
Now teams, they're just getting their respective buffs. Of course, the Matilda doing Matilda things, just trying to annoy UC.
Right, yes, you'll be a little bit of problem here towards the assets. Of course, USPF is gonna try and move away, and this is exactly what you were talking about. Jinyu, not only is this Matilda trying SPF coming into this game, but he's also just trying to gain information. So his core knows where to rotate.
Well, the thing about this USPF lineup right now is they need to get this level 4 Akai to actually pin down someone, actually get some early kills for the game, and that's the way possibly for them to start their momentum for this game. Still no casualties right now, but there's a rotation here in the top lane. 3 people from UV. Will they get any kills here? Decide just to back off, as this Arlot is pretty much really tanky here in the top.
In the bite, but James getting jumped onto by Ray. Does have the flash available as well. He's already there. Energy Slam will get him. But look at the shields brought around, and now the rest of USPF is trying to cover for more.
Sinju actually falling low right now, but still not backing off, as this Esmeralda trying to do some damage, but USPF just safely backs off. But this is an advantage right now for UV because they have the turtle advantage.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the most off-putting things about an Esmeralda is when he goes in and he's just kind of the rest of the team around. It looks so hilarious. He's like slapping people around, and of course the first turtle is gonna go towards the side of UV coming into this.
A bit of a golden advantage right now for UV.
Look what he stole. Look what he
They
stole.
might capitalize on this. Maybe they will look for kills. I think so, because Matilda is actually did actually just back off right there as they decide to recuperate. But of course, the Akai just lurking here in the bottom lane, but still not.
Yeah, he doesn't have 4 yet. He is a support role as of this game, so we'll see whether or not this delayed level 4 is going to be a problem. Did know that Kai on this Valentina will have
damage
from a support Akai, no less.
That's a thing that we notice about an Akai, but now the heavy spin is up. They might get a kill right now onto the Roger. Roger knows that Akai is lurking there, just backing off, but the rest of the members of UV trying to respond here. Will there be a fight here in the bottom lane? I don't think so. As
That's
UV
right.
back off.
Yeah. A little bit of care. Final slash will be committed onto Wexen though. This Akai seems to be having a little bit of a problem on towards the bottom side. He's getting jumped towards, but we'll see. That's gonna be a heavy spin down. The UV pretty low so far. Look at this. The heavy spin. That's gonna be James.
The Valentina was able to steal the heavy spin there, which spin 3 heroes. And Valentina still isn't finished as Moby falling low wasn't able to secure the kill there as the rest of the members of UB just decides to back off. Turtle is up in 5 seconds, but UV still decides to teleport, knows that they have time.
I was gonna risky play here for the Valentina, try and dive Moby under his tower. But of course, Moby decides to jump in place, gain that extra shield, and survive the burst damage coming out from Kai. And now the second turtle is going to be up. We'll see whether or not USPF try and contest here. That's going to be a jump in already. As at the moment, so much damage. Side of USPF, they take down the Esmeralda, but the turtle has been secured from UV.
The damage coming from this UV team was enough to burst down Moby here. Kyle might follow anytime soon. A Praise Rat already committed, not yet finished. He has the final slash up here, but decides not to use it.
That's right. So there's going to be a lot of damage. Teams. UV is currently leading by just 1,000 gold. And that's not something that you kind of want to credit, especially towards the fact that they did get both of the turtles. USPF is still holding on very, very strong coming into this game.
Actually, a pretty interesting game here, but Prel falling low here in the top lane was able to just easily back off there. But one thing we noticed in this game is there aren't really any towers down here for both teams. 2v2 here in the bottom lane. Salmon Force committed by Brains, but of course UV was able to safely back off. That was when we see the strength of a guiding win, right?
That's right. There's a lot of damage coming out from Baines as well. Jay already at 1 HP there, has to back out on this Roger. A little bit problematic coming on towards this game. But of course, UV slowly but surely building up their net worth coming into this game with 2k gold lead. And look at Jay, he's a mad dog. He's going for more, and they grab Baines as well while they're at it. The rest of UV catching USPF off guard.
There's a problem right now for USPF. I think it's starting to be a game for UV as 4 people trying to kill James here and was successful. The Dawning Light used there by Kyle, but wasn't able to pick off any kills as the damage wasn't enough.
That's right. Now UV has gotten to the point in their items where they're very, very much comfortable with just trying to stick together and take down towers one by one. They take bottom first. Now they're moving on towards the middle lane as well.
It's starting to be like a snowball right now for UV. They just got some kills, and right now Arlott isolated from his whole team. He will maybe go down in a minute now, but the heavy spin was able to save him. Fredrin just going to back away, but UV, they're still not yet finished. Prel going in. Jay falling low right now. Very low actually, but escapes with a sliver of health. The Dawning Light was a miss right there, but just in the taunt onto 3, but wasn't enough. Kai falling low also. 2 people down for UV. Wexen left to run for his life. USPF now has the momentum back onto their side.
That's right. USPF played that clash perfectly. 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and now they're finally able to secure that third turtle as UV was able to grab the first 2, and it was a shutdown onto Kai as well. So that's pretty big gold coming in from them.
I think USPF just needs to believe in this lineup, and they need to stick together and get some kills, get some fights. I think we have not seen them much in this fight, in this game, right? That they initiate fights, of course.
Exactly.
It's always UV initiating the fights, and we saw how strong their team is during that clash, as no one was down. Final slash committed actually by Prel there, but as an escape, the circling eagle by Matilda. Roger just biting and scratching Prel, and was able to secure the kill.
Prel a little bit, overextensive there. He wasn't exactly sure how much damage G had, but as soon as he saw his tower going down, it was too late. Jinyu already there with the circling eagle coming into play.
Oh, right now, USPF and UV actually grouping up here in the mid lane. Kai has the Akai ult here. This might be a problem for USPF, but he just decides to back off as Matilda still back to their base.
Yeah, because we do have 40 seconds up until before the Lord is going to spawn here for the side of UV. They're trying to grab the vast majority of the positioning here in the middle lane. But look at this. Moby gets the Petrify, pushing the rest of UV back. Shinyu goes down. Beyblade happening here as Sky pushes Moby back. But look at this. Jay as well as Racine are already caught out of position. The Falling Star Moon completely misses. Racine goes down. Wexen trying to make everything happen for UV, but it's too late. They've lost 3 people.
What a great initiation. They're coming from move B as he gets 2 from UV. That was a start. Even if Kai was able to do a counter heavy spin, right? But it wasn't as efficient as what Moby did, because Moby, he brought them onto the team, and they just had free real estate right now. But of course, they tried to take the Lord here. They didn't have enough damage to actually secure the Lord faster.
Right. Prel almost got caught there trying to recall back to base, but it seems as though this next Lord that is currently up right now is going to be up for a 5v5 take from both of these teams. They're both at 27k net worth. Pretty even, I'd say, coming into this game.
USPF has come back from the lead that UV had and the momentum that UV had a while ago because of the kills that they have got. I think they won 2 fights straight now, and this is already a problem for UV because USPF already has the momentum there. The heavy spin already committed onto Wexen. Wexen falling low. Prel doing some stuff onto Shinju and Kai, but wasn't able to secure any kills there for UV. Circling Eagle, and the Harith was bursted down. Matilda also down for UV. A 1-for-1 trade, but Kai still not finished. Moby falling low, but that might be a save taunt from the Fredrin, but he still dies. The damage coming from the Savior.
That's right.
Was enough to burst them down.
A 2-for-2 exchange coming into play here as the moment, and Baines, you can really see how much harder it is for a Harith to play coming into this game with so much CC coming out from the side of UV, and of course such a clutch taunt there from Racine. He does fall down, but they don't lose Kai, and I feel like it was a little bit of an overextension from Kai, seeing that they didn't have enough reinforcements, so decided to go for the final slash anyway.
But right now, USPF almost take down the Lord here. Je and Wexen just lurking around, but the heavy spin pins the Roger and kills him. This might be a problem right now for UV. 1 man down, and the Lord marching for the side of USPF.
They just might as well take this tower. I mean, the dog's pretty much tanking all that damage anyway. They got the Lord coming in soon. Bottoms a little push. The Lord is gonna be smacking those on toward the top side. Meanwhile, UV have to find a way to gain momentum back, because they were leading in the early and middle stages of the game, but reaching out towards the end game, USPF have just been playing these games better, and the heavy spin from Moby is just absolutely doing wonders for USPF.
We haven't seen the Kai IMU, of course, be very, as we've seen in the early game, because the early game, Kai had some pretty good heavy spins, right? He did some pretty good heavy spins, which led them to have the momentum for this game as the Lord now marching, but Kai just vanished there from the damage coming from USPF. Committed on to Fredrin, falling now down for UV, and this might be the end for UV as the Roger falling low, but they're still not yet finished. Shinzu also falling low. Donning Light was committed to kill Matilda there, and a wipeout and a win for USPF.
Wow. First Lord towering down towards the top side with the energy blast still from that tower, and it's absolutely cleaned up there by the rest of USPF. UV tried to hold their ground, but they lost Kai too early in that last clash, so it's gonna be unfortunate for UV, and USPF take game 1.
UV's had a very good start during that game, but I think just the team fighting of USPF just made them win that game. Of course, very strong team fighting. I mean, it's also because of their strong lineup, right? They have, of course, a very, the damage coming from a Harith. You have you can pin down people with the Akai heavy spin, right? And just the final slash, and just a lot of utilities coming from this team, and the MVP James.
That's right. On that Popol and Koopa, very, very annoying coming into this game, especially with the amount of shield and sustain that he has for himself, and how annoying the dog becomes in the late game. As you can see here, this is going to be one of the parts where there is going to be a crazy engage, and Racing actually gets dropped pretty low here. Look at the slam already by Kai. This is one of his good heavy spins coming early into this game.
But we lacked, another play that he did that. We did not see any other good heavy spins coming from Kai. Even during the later parts of the game, the last fight, he got easily picked off. And I think that has been a problem for them. I think positioning is needed for, of course, a Valentina to initiate properly onto the fight. There's the parts in which UV still had the momentum in the game, as they had a lot of pickoffs. But the moment USPF started to group up, the moment USPF started to initiate fights, they just, directly took the game.
Yeah, look at this. Moby pushing Racing out towards their turret, actually. This is where USPF slowly were able to bounce back. They know that Racine's at half HP. They try and cash out onto G, and at this point, UV no longer have straight damage in the form of this Roger. So now USPF are gonna walk up more confidently and take out 2 people just like that.
They played against the Roger also almost perfectly. They almost perfectly kited him during every clash. Like, have you seen in the last clash, Roger was just walking around, not dealing any damage at all. As right now, as you can see, Roger just, he
can do.
He can't do anything. He can't deal as much damage as he can, because that's what is needed from Roger. But he wasn't able to show his full potential because of how USPF played around him during that game.
Exactly, and of course, coming into this game, you can see the final slashes coming in here soon. And Kai is gonna commit a final slash afterwards that fight, but it actually went out a little bit bad for them because they did lose Racine. And look at how Jay just gets caught out here when James throws out the stun with that dog.
This was the fight in which Kai was easily picked off, and USPF just knew. USPF just knew that you don't have anything else. You have the Falling Star Moon and the Taunt, but we can fight against that. But the heavy spin was the problem that we really faced, and they knew that they had the advantage. They knew that they could dive them under their tower, and they just did, and they won the game instantly.
That's true, and of course, this is what we were talking about how they're pretty much even and on par with the best teams in the preseason in the early and mid-late game stages. But on towards the late game, it's been such a struggle for the University of the Visayas to try and finish the game. You know what I'm saying? Because they had all the opportunities that they could have done, but coming again, it is going to be a little bit of a problem for them if they want to make it on towards the playoffs.
I think, I agree with what you said, and there's something they need to work on exactly. And USPF, they also showed signs of that, but during that game, they still were the ones to go on top, of course. Especially, I think the drafting had a lot to do during that match. Even if UV had a very complete draft there, I think the damage coming from their draft was just pretty much lacking for that game.
That's right. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, that was Game 1 brought to you by CESAFI Esports League, co-presented by Dito Telecom Unit. We can't be here without our lovely sponsors. We got PC Express, Virginia Foods Incorporated, and four minor sponsors.
The Company Cebu and Crayon Lab.
That's right. And of course, we were casters, Mr. Fire. Next game of this is a best of 3. Will UV be able to bounce back, or will it be a clean sweep for USPF? We'll see in a bit.
Beep beep, Uber picking them up, ski ski, then I'm kicking up dust.
Hello.
Okay na.
Okay.
Ano to?
Tandugunon eh.
Di ka letra dyan siya. Wala naman natandog.
Di ako ang giirog grang kaning wire. Pero basin na tandugunon ba?
Gara?
Na. Di lang na mga tandugon na lang. Sige.
Alright.
Gusto na. Sige.
Nagduko mo juga pa ko.
Magani mo na wagtang ba? Sorry guys. Ha? What ang paning 9 minutes?
Dali na goro.
Hello? Kung baan na ba? Hello. Di na kayo ko sa
Diraman.
Hello.
30 seconds.
Okay.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Sorry about earlier. There was a little bit of a few technical difficulties that went on, but of course, the show goes on. And what is the next match we're going to be having coming here today? It's going to be still USPF against UV. Once again, we're your casters for today. My name's Dumpster Fire, the trash you love and admire, and here with me is none other than
Dr. B, the doc is in.
That's
Very excited for this game too right now, Martin. But of course, before we get into our game too, let's first thank our sponsors. Firstly, one of our major sponsors, PC Express.
That's right.
PH's leading computer and tech retailer. They have a huge selection of desktop PCs, laptops, smartphones,
You name
gaming
it.
gear.
Yeah.
PC components and accessories from top brands, and of course, PC Express for all your digital needs.
That's right. And of course, we can't forget about Virginia Foods Incorporated. It's also one of our major sponsors and has been with us since season 1. So it is a food manufacturing company that has touched the lives and hearts of every Filipino with their premium canned and frozen processed meat products. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know the logo. So say it with me, Basta Hotdog
Virginia.
That's right.
And of course, the CEL preseason is also co-presented by Dito Telecommunity. They not only do they have like internet, they're not internet providers also. They also have data, they have SIMs that you could also use and you could also try, because I've tried it and it's been a good experience. Of course, sa Dito, bigay todo.
That's right. And I always use my Dito SIM to play Mobile Legends, actually.
Exactly.
I don't use any other provider. It's your Dito Telecommunity. And of course, we also have our minor sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. This stream is coming to you live from the Company Cebu, where we are at right now. And as you can see, it's very Company Cebu-like. What? It's absolutely Company Cebu. And it's such a great place, actually. And don't sweat here. The headsets, you know how headsets get super stanky in our streams? Not anymore, because we got air conditioned units here from the Company Cebu brought to you. Thank you very much for the stream.
Not a sponsor, not a
that's right.
Well, of course, let's also thank Crayon Lab Custom Apparel. If you want to check out, of course, some jerseys, some custom apparel, just in general. Check Crayon Lab.
They didn't make this, but they could probably make a better shirt. So hit them up if you guys want to have anything printed on a mug, pen. It doesn't matter. Just hit up Crayon Lab, see what they can do for you, because they can do wonders for everyone here. And of course, that was all our sponsors coming into this stream. And now we're going to be jumping right into match 2 of game 1 between USPF and UV. And of course, the first match was pretty close in that start, and UV actually, for a very short time in that early and middle game stage, we're winning the game. However, on towards the later stages, USPF bagged the win.
Yeah, UV needs to do some tuning up to their strategies right now, as they need to look for ways to probably, do something different for their late game and possibly in the mid game, which is a transition, of course. And it's interesting. I'm curious what they're planning to do after this, what they're planning to do for game 2 and what they have in store for us.
That's right. I'm super excited that I can hear buzzing in my ears because of how exciting this match is going to be. So now UV is now on our first ban. The rules have been reversed. UV will be banning first coming into this match. So we'll see how they're going to deal with it. Because USPF had a very, very strong Harith coming into their game. There it is.
Again,
first ban Harith coming into this
game. And the
game.
Pupil and Koopa. Both target bans from UV. Maybe they recognize that these were the two champions. These are two heroes that caused them a lot of problems. But the Hayabusa first pick for UV.
That's right. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see whether or not UV will be able to go for this mega rotation lineup that they seem to be building towards with this Hayabusa first pick.
But of course, USPF, banning Ling, and maybe Ling was the first choice for UV too, because we know how Ling is also a very fast rotations. But the Savior and Arlot pick, still the same two picks from their first game. These were also, very essential during their first game. The Savior damage that it has, of course, the poke that it has, and of course, the Arlot final slash. It's just, very strong ability.
Yeah, and USPF are really, really good at playing around this Arlot. Because I've seen a lot of Arlot picks coming into multiple different teams, but I feel like USPF have it down to a number. UV, once again, playing in towards the rotation and the poke and the pickoffs with Novaria, Claude, and this Hayabusa coming into play. So USPF secure that gold lane Roger once again. Actually, it's already for USPF at this point, considering that Harith got banned.
A lot of firepower coming from this UV pick, but they're still lacking a bit of crowd control from their lineup.
Front line.
Yeah, front line, because these three heroes are pretty squishy.
That's
and this is free resource for a Roger, especially when they're properly CC'd with a final slash, for example. And of course, you see a Minotaur ban there from USPF, because Minotaur would have been a very good
pick,
synergy for this lineup currently. currently by UV.
Yeah, and because they have the first pick after the second draft phase, USPF lock onto the Fredrin. Yet again, another frontline fighter taken away from the hands of UV.
What are the picks left for UV here? They could possibly opt for a Barats right now.
That's true. A Barats XP lane is very much in the picture, but wow, okay. You're talking about frontline. We'll give you frontline.
Actual frontline.
Yeah, that's going to be a Yuzong XP lane as well as a Grok support coming in for UV, but USPF has grabbed the entire lineup together with this final Angela pick, who literally can go to anybody here in the lineup.
But I think that it will get more resource if he goes into Roger and Roger. The Heart Guard is committed onto Roger, and Roger could just have this backline free real estate for him. Of course, it could still work for UV, especially with a Grok. They could still burst down, for example, the Roger easily. The firepower that they has enough, firepower to burst down any hero from USPF, especially this Roger.
That's absolutely right. So we'll see how these teams are going to be able to play towards it. We know that they have been sticking towards a certain kind of draft that they both play very well with. USPF with a front-to-back kind of pickups, and UV with a clash scattering and very, very good poke kind of lineup coming into their play as well. So we'll see if UV can use this big black dragon form in their arsenal.
I think what also UV needs is a Claude to kind of snowball into the game. But let's go into our game 2 of our first series of the day. USPF versus UV.
Baines is mad.
Start.
Yeah, that's gonna be a flicker utilized here by Shin Yu to make it out. So very, very early into the game, not even a minute into it, this Grok no longer has his battle spell available to him.
Grok actually was looking for a way to annoy, James there with his rotations for this Fredrin. But of course, USPF pretty quick to react there as they were, grouping up on the orange buff to just, just look at the Grok and just save this Fredrin from a nightmare of
Look at it.
rotation.
He's not afraid still. And now, very, very quick with the rotations is the rest of USPF. Arlott sees this too. Tries to move up, but that is going to be Racine offering a little bit more coverage for UV here. And USPF are forced to back out of that engage instead.
I think one good thing that UV could do here in this game is possibly give the game to this Claude. They need this Claude to get his items owned early, but the first blood there for this Hayabusa in the middle lane. And again, my point, I think they need Claude to get their items only because we know how weak Claude is without his items. Without that gold advantage, Claude is very weak.
That's right. It's very, very important for G to be able to play a good game here. He has to get those stacks up as well before he pops the Blazing Duet for maximum damage. But again, above all else, he has to form his items as soon as he can coming into this game.
Turtle is now up and USPF starts to take it. But of course, UV won't just allow that to be taken easily. But of course, the Black Dragon form committed by this Yuzong onto Moby here. Heartguard is still not up, but James just zoning but all the members of UV, but they just go on to Wexen here. Wexen falls to the Arlott, and the rest of the members of UV now low. Well, they die here. Sinju just decides to back off, and USPF can easily take the turtle now.
That's right. That's going to be a free turtle here for the side of USPF. Jumping in very, very early on. It's going to be a little bit of a disadvantage now for Wexen considering he did pop the Black Dragon form early. G using that Blazing Duet as all Claudes do to clear out the wave really and just harass Baines as much as possible in this early game.
Both gold laners here pretty quick to clear the waves, and we could see, possibly I think these are the two keys for this game. If whoever wins this top lane, if whoever is more fat, quotation marks, that possibly could be the winner of this game.
That's right. Look at this. Look at where Jinyu is on the map. Just offering so much information for the rest of his team. He's gotten to the point he has the wild charge available. Is he going to be able to catch Moby? Yes, they do. They bring him down just like that. James trying to go for more. Will decide to sticker and walk out instead.
Moby was easily picked off there. That's the early game damage of a Grok. Of course, the wild charge has a lot of damage during the early game, and it was properly utilized by Sinju there.
That's
they
right.
were able to secure the kill onto Angela.
And of course, Moby now has the Heart Guard available to him. So UV have to be very careful about who they go for these pickoffs against. Look at that, already hovering on towards James.
Heart Guard.
They pop the Heart Guard. UV successfully baited it out. It's their opportunity to back out and wait for that Heart Guard to disappear.
A pretty great play there coming from UV. They just, waited for the Heart Guard to be popped and just instantly backed away.
out, yeah.
Instantly, all of them backed away. And they now know that the Heart Guard is now up. They might have the advantage during the team fight if they fight early.
Wow, the Thunderbelt already being built up by Baines here on this Roger. And of course, that is going to be very important considering that you are pretty much in the front line most of the time, especially when you're in your werewolf melee form. So he does have to pop by that really, really early defensive item.
Of course, the turtle is now up. Still USPF starts to take this turtle. But again, UV still not allowing USPF to take this turtle easily.
That's right.
Just doing the turtle dance here. Both teams grouping up here in the turtle side. Sinju falling low. The wild card committed onto two, but the black dragon form onto the backlines. Moby and Kyle falling low. Racing was able to back away. Two people down.
That's right.
For USPF. What a great clash there coming from UV.
But it's not going to be over yet as Wexen tries to poke out onto Prel. We'll be able to grab a lot of the siphoning spirits here for his side. And that's going to be the turtle, seemingly in the position of UV, but that's going to be James jumping in with a hard gun. The final slash onto two. Wexen goes down. Is there going to be enough damage? Prel dropping low. And G with a cleanup crew. He grabs one more. Angela soon to follow. Flicker down, but the shadow connects. And Moby gets brought down as well.
I thought USPF already had the advantage during that fight, but UV still had a lot of, fuel and it sank, and they were able to win that fight.
It's the patience from Racine for me. He threw the shadow, put it into Angela's pocket, waited for her to flicker out, and then jump. That was such an amazing play here, as you can see.
This was the fight in which, the Yuzong and the Claude just went directly onto the backline. It obliterated the two, and they know that without these two heroes, it's hard for them. It's hard for them to win the fight. Right now, Baines actually being fought by Racine here. Racine just decides to teleport off. This is one of the problems that USPF is going to be facing in this match. Hayabusa that could easily go into the backlines, and the Savior easily bursted down there by the Hayabusa, and the Fredrin falling low. Kai, a sliver of HP left, but no, three people down from USPF. Prel, but the Black Dragon form charging, diving onto the tier 2 tower. Prel falling low, actually dies there. 2 Yuzong. Baines is the only one left.
That's right. That's going to be a 4-man wipe here for USPF. Kyle is up now as the moment, though. We'll be able to walk toward this middle lane, offer a little bit more assistance to Baines. They're trying to clear the way, but that is still going to be a cannon. Will be able to back out instead.
The team fighting of UV in this game is pretty good. The way they micro, the way they back away from fights, of course, the way they kite these members from USPF has been almost perfect in this game, and it can easily be seen by the way they have the 11-3 advantage and a 3k gold lead for this game. And I think a bit lacking coming from them is that they lack a bit of the map control, even though they have the advantage they have right now. But the ultimate committed there by Hayabusa falling low, and he falls down as he was a bit overextending during that fight.
That's right, and it is going to be a little bit of a problem here as at the moment, considering the fact that G has taken down this bottom side, and now Baines is no longer a match solo for this Claude. As long as he has the stacks to jump in already here, he's going to be immobilized as at the moment. Black Dragon form pop to try and disengage. He's trying to bite them back though, but UV are in the middle lane as of the moment.
UV just trying to annoy this USPF lineup, just waiting for, of course, the Hayabusa to be up again. They know that they can take the fight there. That's why they just, opt to zoning them out, just annoying them with, of course, the Black Dragon form coming from the Yuzong, knowing that the Hayabusa is now not yet up, and the Lord actually up right now. UV has the positional advantage here, but USPF trying to group up. The Yuzong still pretty far from his team. This could be an advantage for this USPF lineup.
That's right. That's going to be a little bit of a problem now because of the
Blazing
fact
Duet.
that Blazing Duet is going to be able to do a lot of damage here. He does get caught out. Jinyu trying to save the life of their MM, but will not be able to do so. James with a heart guard is still alive. They're trying to chase on towards this Grok. Can they do it? They're slowing him down a little bit, but Racine trying to come here on towards the flank will be able to try and grab James, but they don't just. Kai running back as well will not be enough damage to take out members from UV.
No one died there from USPF, even though they were falling pretty low, but they still managed to get two from UV, but a Black Dragon form.
He just used this. I thought he just used it. It's on cooldown again. Is he always gonna be a dragon? That's absolutely insane.
So he committed a Black Dragon form there. If he had the Black Dragon form during that fight,
that's right,
would have been a problem for USPF. I was looking at the minimap. He was just staying in the mid lane and he could not rotate fast enough, of course, to respond to the fight. That's why, UV lost 2 there, but still a 1k gold lead for them. There's still a bit of an advantage for their side.
That's right. The Demon Hunter Sword already up now for Baines, though. It means he will be able to do a lot of damage on towards Xinyu and Wexen should he choose to do so. But again, the priority for USPF now are the glass cannon damage coming in from UV in the form of Kai and G, and Racine is not making it easy for USPF.
Racine just, doing the almost a perfect job.
That's right.
In this game, just looking for pickoffs, just going onto the backline, just dealing just raw damage onto the USPF lineup, knowing that there's some people he could easily pick off. Specifically Kyle and Baines and Moby here. And the Lord actually being started to be taken by UV. Pretty
So
quick there, USPF. Didn't have time to react, and UV, Black Dragon form, committed there by Yuzong, Arlot, James, and Moby now down. Baines and Kyle are the only ones left. Dawning Light, committed by Kyle there. Wasn't able to get any kills. Kyle, also half HP. Baines left to go back to his base. This Racine trying to drive and just teleports away. What a great fight there for the side of UV.
Again, Racine just in the commanding position for USPF to try and be able to point them out and pick them off. And here we have it, the Lord just chilling down towards the bottom lane. We'll see that problem that's going to be solved for USPF coming soon. But right now, USPF have to try and keep the only inhibitor they have remaining in this top lane.
There's a clear momentum here for this game as a top lane. Prel is isolated from his team, the wall! But no follow-up there for the side of UV. But that was a great wall there coming from Grok. The Claude and the Hayabusa was just far away. They were trying to play around this Lord. Lord now down for UV. And maybe they'll wait for another Lord, or they could initiate another fight if USPF are in a bad position.
So there's going to be a little bit of a problem now for USPF because UV now have complete control over USPF's jungle. And right now they're trying to take this purple buff, which means USPF not only will lose that buff, but will lose a lot of net worth coming into this game as they're waiting impatiently.
We see how respectful UV is also. They're respecting this USPF lineup. They still have a lot in store. They have a lot of fuel left. They have a lot of firepower. That could be enough to make them win back the momentum in this game. That's why they're just waiting. They're getting all their items that they need, possibly power spikes, of course, and waiting for a mispossession coming from USPF. A great play there for the side of USPF. That's for them to possibly get more resources for their team, get more
and it actually is them denying UV all of the minion gold coming in from that wave, because it is a Lord minion wave. So as long as the Lord minions completely clear it, UV can't completely grasp up their networks of
but a missed position here by Sinyu. He's left alone, but the wild charge committed to escape there. Jay, he's really brave here as he tried to actually go in there, but USPF knows that the rest of the members of UV are just lurking around behind the Claude, knowing that it was a bait, so they decide to back off.
Jinyu almost died there. Will be able to commit the ultimate ability to just try and back out. He did waste up the final slash as well as the dawning light coming in from USPF. So it's going to be a while until those are up. But again, in totality, USPF are now slowly trying to make it out of their base and on towards this Luminous Lord.
The Lord now up. UV has the advantage here. It's pretty quick. The Lord is falling pretty quick right now. But the rest of the members of USPF, maybe now the one thing for that to happen as James already falls low right now. The Black Dragon form committed onto Roger, but the Dawning Light kills Claude there. A golden for a golden trade, but the Lord falling low. And Hayabusa takes it and just decide to back off.
That's right, a good fight from UV. They will pick off 1 for 1. The 2 MMs and gold lanes from both of these teams will be lost in that exchange. As you can see here, the final slash committed on the Shinyu, and he makes it out just like that, no problems. He just presses a button and drags it to the bottom left, and he's fine.
Done. He escaped already. What a rock.
What a rock.
What a rock. And but still a bit of a problem for UV there. It might be a problem because Claude still died there. He bit overextended, and USPF already starting to tune up their the way they team fight to how Jay and how Racing has been playing in this game, as we saw how they were able to pick off Claude there.
So now USPF is caught into a little bit of a dilemma here, because what they can do to try and save this bottom tower is move a little bit forward and try and take this Lord before he's able to charge, because this is a Luminous Lord. But then again, at the same time, if you do escape your base, you might get picked off from UV. So now it seems as though they're trying to decide whether or not they're gonna stop the Lord earlier, but they see the rest of UV jumping in. That's gonna be the wild charge onto 2 into the block as well as the wall. Shinyu dropping low, but Prel caught in between the fray. He's trying to go for more, but he is gonna go low there. As at the moment, it's gonna be a 1 for 2 exchange in favor of USPF.
Black Dragon form there from the Yuzong actually was able to kill Kyle under the tower there. Jay just finishing this game, focusing on the objectives, and UV takes our game 2. There's still going to be a game 3.
That's right. We're going to a game
series.
3. Ladies and gentlemen, here you have it. The winning moment from our teams. We're heading straight towards a game 3. And there you have it. You're going to be able to prep as of the moment for what a good performance from UV.
UV really, answered back there, and they fixed their errors during the first game and decided to do it during the second game, and made some different strategies, and they showed us that they could win against USPF.
Yeah, but of course, Racine, such a good game coming into this second match. It's like an unbelievable performance from Racine, honestly. Being able to completely pick off Kyle, Moby, Baines, it doesn't matter. If anyone's out of position, Racine is there to slash them up.
As you can see, Baines only has 10k gold for this whole game and a 1-2 standing. They were a bit of a shutdown there for the side of UV, and the way they played against the Roger. Of course, our MVP, Racine, with a 10-1 Hayabusa. Very strong showing coming from him.
Indeed. And here we have it. He already gained first blood there very, very early on. Just being able to notice the situations that you can get pickoffs is something that's really, really important in a core, and Racine just does that. And here you have it. Moby locks down Wexin. A trade here coming in from the side of USPF.
And right now, actually, as you can see, Racine just trying to, poke them off. Knows that he can't do anything already, so he just decides to back off. I think most of the fights, he has been doing that when he knows he can't do anything for that fight. Well, of course, we see right now a quick pick off onto Moby, and just decides to back off instantly. Again, the way they also jump onto the backlines, the Claude and the Yuzong combo, they directly go onto the backlines of USPF, they know that this Angela and Xavier cannot do anything in a 1v1 situation with the Claude and Yuzong. They capitalize on that, and they did that almost every class there is, as we can see right here. Jay just having a free hit barrage right there, as they were able to kill 3, and that was just the start of their momentum for this game.
That's right, and it is gonna be UV who takes game number 2, and it's just their ability to be able to spot out these situations that give them the heads up coming into this series. And of course, they're gonna be heading straight into a game 3, and USPF and UV have yet to prove themselves, especially with the fact that UV are looking for their very first win, and now it's within their reach.
They really need both of these teams are very hungry for a win right now, as they want to secure a position in our playoffs.
Isn't that right? And here we have it, a jump in as well, coming in from this big dragon form, and look at the wall! Such a good wall from Xinyu again. Yeah, such an amazing play.
Xinyu also has made a lot of great plays in this game, as you can see right now. 4 people from USPF still was not able to kill Xinyu there, just with a single wild charge. This was the part where they had a gold lane for gold lane trade. They were easily able to kill Roger, but a bit of an overextension there coming from the Claude. But still, they were able to secure the Lord, which possibly was one of the reasons why they won the game. Because of course, the wild charge there actually was a great initiation. Not a much follow up there, but the initiation is the thought of the initiation to open up the space for the Lord to take down the tower, and just directly went with it. Jed just look at the opportunity to take down the base of USPF there, and it just did it.
That's right.
And it ended the game.
Absolutely right. And of course, what is going to be a little bit of a problem for USPF in that fight was the fact that they didn't have a lot of damage for them, because when the big black dragon form would come in, they weren't able to burst him down, unlike what teams usually do in towards this preseason. So it is going to be a little bit of a problem for them. But of course, such an electrifying match brought to you none other than by CESAFI Esports League, co-presented by Dito Telecommunications. Sa Dito, bigay todo.
Of course, let's not forget to thank our major sponsors. Of course, PC Express for all your digital needs.
That's right.
And Virginia Food Incorporated, Basta Hotdog, Virginia.
Yeah, that's right. We also have our minor sponsors, the company Cebu, where we're streaming at you live from, and none other than Crayon Labs Apparel and Printing Services. So if you guys are in the market for a place to stay, a place to study, a place to work, that's the company Cebu for you. And if you guys are trying to get stuff printed, maybe on mugs, name tags, you name it, slings, Crayon Labs has got you covered.
So that's it for our game 2, and we're still going to have our game 3. So still continue to be watching our live, and of course, we're going to go into a quick break, and we'll see you in a bit.
Uber picking them up, ski skeet, then I'm kicking up dust.
We're back. And ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the very few occurrences in our preseason where we've made it to a game three. That's right. So USPF take the first game, UV take the second, and now we're in game 3. And once again, we are your casters. My name's Dumpster Fire, the trash you love and admire. And here with me is none other than
Dr. B. The doc is in very interesting and very, very close fight and competitive fight that we have right now. UV versus USPF
That's
game
right.
3.
That's absolutely right. And of course, it is going to be very, very few. Eureka. And of course, it is going to be a very, very interesting game 3 that we have coming in, because now UV have figured out their flow. They finally are comfortable with something that they've been doing with it. Of course, shout out to Racine for that spectacular game on Hayabusa, bringing their team the win.
Right now, we actually need to see something from USPF. They need to do some tuning up of their own also to, strategize. Maybe do a little bit of something different also that they did.
True.
Maybe work on the errors that they've had, the pick-off. The pick-offs that they have. And of course, you need to work on that. They need to work on the positioning as well, and the way, because the 2 games that they've had, they lost their early game.
They did.
I think they just need to work on their early game probably.
They did.
And just continue to win the fight after.
Yeah, but of course UV is now a force in this scenario. They know what they're trying to be able to drive as well, and UV is currently, as this item says right here. No, right here. They're fighting to survive because they want to be able to get their first win of this preseason, and now it's closer than ever, within arm's reach, and with their consistent, very, very convincing win during that second match, it just might happen. Who knows?
Yeah, but USPF still also as desperate as UV because they need this win.
They do.
They need this win to
move up.
To move up, to get a chance even to play in the playoffs against or other teams also that are very strong during the season.
But of course, between both of these teams, they are still being they're still very, very strong, showing us really, really good performances. And I don't doubt that if either of them makes it to the playoffs, it'll be such a spectacular roster of teams still. But again, between these two, they're the most struggling teams right now in this preseason. And to make it to the playoffs, they need to show us that they deserve the spot.
One thing that we should know right now also is that it's obvious that UV has the momentum here, because possibly USPF could have been, could falter a little bit with their strategies, of course, with the loss that they had during the game 2, in which, maybe they thought they weren't going to lose anymore. But of course, before we get into the drafting phase, let's not forget to thank our sponsors. First, PC Express, PH leading computer and tech retailer. And they have a huge selection of desktop PCs, laptops, smartphones, gaming gear, PC components, and accessories from top brands, and PC Express for all your digital needs.
That's right. Of course, we can't forget about Virginia Foods Incorporated, a company that has been with us since season 1, a food manufacturing company that has touched the lives and hearts of every Filipino with their premium canned and frozen meat products. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know it. Say it with me. Basta hot dog, Virginia. That's right.
And of course, CL Preseason also co-presented by Dito Telecommunities. Sa
That's
Dito,
right.
bigay todo.
And of course, for our minor sponsors, none other than where we're streaming from you live, The Company Cebu, and we have Crayon Labs apparel as well. So jumping right into the draft phase, you can see the respect bands coming in from both of these teams.
USPF decided to ban the Hayabusa there. I mean, pretty understandable.
I would.
I would. Raisin played pretty good during that game. He had the 10-1. He possibly was the reason why they won that game. And of
That's
course,
right.
USPF played with one of the heroes that they've played since game 1, Arlot.
That's right. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, now UV have also still banned the Popol and Koopa. That's something that they don't want to have to deal with coming into this game. But now USPF, in the first pick and first ban position once again, have decided to secure this Arlot first.
But maybe UV, we don't know what UV has in store for us. Maybe what else do they have? Because the last that's what they have in store for us. The Nolan pick, another assassin possible core. Yeah,
Yeah,
no other
Racine still on this Nolan for sure. And if he did a crazy job on this Hayabusa, who knows what he can do on this Nolan as well. So the Esmeralda is still going to be a pickup here from UV. Very good CC cat control, as well as a lot of sustain and mitigation with the shields that you have and the damage that you do in an AoE kind of fashion.
Oh, the Vexana and Nathan pick coming from the side of USP have both pretty strong. They're a lot of damage coming from this lineup, but of course, you can't deny.
Yeah.
You saw how
Yeah.
Racing played with the Hayabusa, and honestly, Hayabusa, you don't see like the burst damage, like
No.
the burst.
No.
But the Nolan is different. He has the burst damage, right? He's like the better Lancelot.
Exactly.
He's like
So
the better Lancelot, right?
Yeah.
The burst damage for them, and I don't know how UV is going to play against it. Of course, Ayuzong, another
that's
one.
gonna be a little bit of a problem now, because if Wexen does go for this Yuzong, USPF now have a Nathan who can very, very easily shred him down while he's in his big dragon form.
It's up to UV now if they're able to, of course, pick off Nathan before he's able to commit the entropy, or is he going to be able to shred down this Yuzong? I think it all comes down to execution now. And the following two drafts that they're going to pick, a Bane, ban.
That's something. That's something for sure. The Bane ban is something that we didn't expect to see coming out from UV, but maybe, just maybe, they're in USPF's head. Maybe this was USPF's plan, and UV stocked them dead in their tracks. We'll never know, but all we do know is that UV do not want to deal with the Bane. They'll ban it, and now they're gonna go for the first pick in this second stage of picking.
Maybe they know something USPF has been, having,
Cooking.
hiding, cooking, marinating. Maybe USPF has had some games in which they played with the Bane, off camera, of course, and
That's
just
right.
UV just notice it. Maybe that is banned, or maybe it could be a mistake. Right?
That's right.
We don't know. And now Brody pick coming from UV, as there's not much. Oh, the Roger and Harriet is still up, but decides to not pick it.
Neither of them actually
Neither
go
of
for
them.
these really, really quick gold lane clear ups. But of course, there you have it. The heavy spin still available, and UV have probably no other choice but to go for this Valentina, because you are still able to steal the Vixana ultimate as well, which is just as big, I reckon, in terms of the damage potential that they can have as a team. So UV very likely to just lock onto Valentina here.
Oh, yo! It's a Diggy instead.
I'm at a loss for words. I should have noticed it earlier. It is an Esmeralda and Yuzong pick, so one of them has to go middle lane, and I feel like the Esmeralda might go mid here, and that's gonna be a Diggy support.
It's a Diggy.
That's
it's a Diggy support. I mean, it's an answer to the Akai, right?
I guess.
It's an answer to the Akai. It's an answer to the Akai. We don't know how UV plays around, this Diggy. They might, decide to just group up and just be one boulder during team fights, right? Which deals a lot of damage. Credits to this Nolan and Brody, of course.
And not just that, but it's also the fact that the final slash can also just be times journeyed by this Diggy. So it is going to be a little bit of a problem now for USPF and whatever CC they had in mind. The fact that a Diggy has now been picked up by UV.
But the problem with the Diggy is that without the times journey, what else could you do? It's a very, very good skill, to be honest. But without it, what else could you do with its cooldown, of course? And let's hop into the game as we have our game 3 of our first series of the day. USPF versus UV. Who's going to be able to win this fight?
Right. This is for all the marbles, chat. Who takes it is the person who will be able to secure it. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we have it. Kai getting a little bit poked out here on this Esmeralda. So we'll see whether or not these teams are still going to be able to take the lead ahead of each other here in the early game.
The same strat for UV, just trying to annoy the core, but Kai easily picked off there from USPF. First blood for the side of USPF.
That's right. It's good CC here coming in from this Vixana, actually being able to fear him at the last second. Look at this.
He decides to come back in. I think
he tried to fight Yu Zong. I think you know how that goes.
I think there was a misclick coming from Prel there. James actually falls low here. You see the damage coming from the Nolan. He quickly got his level 4 and he instantly almost got a kill there. But of course, Diggy is down 2-1 right now in favor for USPF. The kills USPF, but the gold is for UV.
It is going to be a 100 gold lead though, so there's not much here as at the moment. We'll see whether or not these teams are going to be able to take a step ahead of each other as the turtle is now coming to spawn in 10 seconds.
Right now, 5 seconds before the turtle, but the Nolan is nowhere near James. Very near, but he still hasn't gotten his level 4 yet. Also, the Diggy hasn't gotten his level 4. We might not see any group fights. Level 2 for the Akai still. No heavy spin.
Oh, look at the damage.
The Eternal Guard committed by Vexana there wasn't able to hit any, and the response coming from UV, Falling Star Moon, was able to lock Kyle down, and Vexen was able to secure the kill and a turtle take right now for UV.
That's right. Moby will be able to back out here as at the moment, considering that the vast majority of his team will not be around to take this turtle. James, currently on his orange buff, decides to use the retribution elsewhere.
UV was able to even out the kills there with a kill onto Kyle. UV right now in the bottom lane, they're trying to guide this Brody to make him have a lot of farm, because Brody is pretty much like Claude. He also needs a lot of items to deal damage. I think Nathan just needs 1 or 2 items before he could do significant damage. Right now they're grouping up here. The bottom lane, Bane's actually falling low, almost dies there to Jeb, but wasn't enough.
Yeah, it's going to be Kai on towards the backside though. Kai coming in as well will be able to grab a lot of damage on towards Moby with the pullback coming in from Xinyu. That's Time's journey to stop the knockup. Very well played from Xinyu there as a support. And again, G actually pops the torn apart memories to take Baines pretty low, stops him from helping towards the rest of the clash.
Baines didn't have any other choice there but just to back away, because he was pretty low and could have been easily bursted down by UV. And of course, that's a Time's journey was just a pretty good timing there. James actually jumps, but the pullback coming from the Diggy saves these 2 members of UV, but James decides to go back. Super low right now. Moby going in. Baines committed for the pullback, and he dies. Decides to sacrifice his life. Moby also now low. Nolan with the response with a kill onto him. A 2-for-1 trade, and a disaster for USPF.
That was not worth it at all. They got a 2-for-1 exchange, all for G to fall down.
Kai.
And now Kai will be able to be bitten back here by USPF though. So that's going to be good for them, considering that they did just lose that engage on towards the bottom side. But the Turtles coming up in 3 seconds, and that's going to be an available engage here from both of these teams.
Just a lot of brawls in this fight. Just, people fighting from all the lanes and everyone's getting involved. USPF has the position advantage here for the turtle take as James already starts, but the rest of the members of UV not allowing this to happen as they try to go into Moby, and the Times Journey was able to save Race in there from the heavy spin. Jay still falling low, but the person down Moby there. Kyle also falling low. Prel was able to kill Jay there, but they're left to back off as 2 members are down. James with a sliver of HP left. Will Kai be able to secure the kill? Prel just decides to go back in actually again, but both of these heroes don't have anything left in their arsenal, so they decide to back off in a 2-for-1 trade there in favor of UV.
That's right, they were able to secure the turtle there as well as Racine now towards the clutches of UB. Will not be able to be pulled back as at the moment. That's going to be a lot of damage again coming in from Baines very, very soon as he takes his items and moves back towards the bottom side. He has to be careful though, because that's Kai as well as Wexen grouped up, and they dive him as soon as they see him. Black Dragon form will be popped. That's going to be the Falling Star Moon already at half HP. Now UV are very, very cautious about any backup that might come.
The heavy spin.
Times Journey will be popped as well on towards this top side.
The heavy spin was actually committed there by the Akai, but wasn't able to get Eric's Prel. Falling low right now. Moby just trying to kill off this Brody. Brody also down in XP lane for a gold lane there. A bit of an even trade for both sides. And we see the importance of this Times Journey from the Diggy. It has saved them from fights a lot of times. The Falling Star Moon committed onto Moby there, but the lack of damage coming from the side of UV. UV just decides to back off as the rest of the members of UV are still very far away from them.
That's right. That's going to be the taunt from James, saving the life of this top lane engage from the Falling Star Moon. Let's see if they jump in instantly onto James. Taunt is there. Is there going to be enough CC? Racing. Too much dashes actually on this Nolan.
A lot of dashes also in this game. Everyone just jumps and just everyone is mobile in this game, and the fights are pretty messy, but still everyone has their own targets. Everyone knows what they need to do, who they need to prioritize, and I think that the Diggy is the one to actually that's why UV has the advantage here because of the Diggy, which locks them all together. But the Black Dragon form committed by the Yuzong there. Prel already down. Times Journey already committed. Moby isolated from his team here. Heavy spin committed to back away, but Wexen still isn't finished. Going to go after the Moby there, but the Fredrin actually left alone. They're isolated from his whole team. Akai falling low. This Diggy and Esmeralda going after him. The turtle was already taken by UV. Baines just farming here in the bottom lane was able to safely back away.
That's right. So that's going to be a lot of damage already available for both of these teams. And really, it's going to be a little bit confusing as USPF are now slowly building up towards beating the net worth lead that UV has gotten so far. And we've seen this story before. What UV needs to do as at the moment is step on the necks of USPF and not let go. Because if USPF have even a little bit of breathing room, it's going to be super problematic, especially with Nathan and his entropy.
During the fights, UV has been playing pretty good. Of course, the way they micro, the way they kite, the damage coming from USPF, and USPF during the last fight wasn't able to secure actually any kills for their side, and 2 fell from their side. And it's commendable to see how UV has fought, of course, how they use this Times Journey to do well during fights. But as we see right now, Kai actually isolated from his team as a heavy spin committed to bring him back under the tier 2 tower, but he's just able to escape there.
Just gonna walk out.
Walk away.
Just shrugs it off. Just bumps the dirt off of his shoulders and just walks away. That's pretty much the speed coming in from Kai here on this Esmeralda as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lord of the game is gonna be up in 20 seconds. USPF and UV slowly trying to mark their positions here towards the river.
15 seconds right now for the Lord. UV might looking to get a pick off before they start their Lord, but Prel going in but no one from UV decided to answer back with abilities of their own. But Kai
That's right.
just lurking around. Falling Star Moon committed onto Moby there, locks him down. The pullback onto this Akai doesn't let him commit
Not gonna
every
be the
spend in the
time
time journey. Committed right now. Arlot already down. The Akai falling low. Also James also down from the damage coming from this UV team. But they answer back with a kill onto Yuzong, the Eternal Guard. Still up right now, trying to annoy the members of UV. They're actually falling low right now. Jay and Sinjo, but the Falling Star Moon again onto 2. Moby falling low but lacking damage. Entropy from Kyle was able to kill off the members of UV. Raisin falling low right now, but is looking for another kill. Is looking for a
He
pick up.
just might try and steal this Lord here. He's recalling as of the moment, but Baines isn't continuing. He gets the shred down onto Baines. Will be able to bring down that Nathan. It puts UV at a good position to try and take this Lord. Baines will be up for 15 seconds in his cooldown respawn as UV can slowly make their way towards this Lord.
USPF already had a lot of advantage there, but the momentum was easily stopped, like instantly cut by the way Raisin played there. Another commendable play there by Raisin, but the heavy spin committed onto him. A quick pullback there by Diggy. The pullback has been pretty good for him. Every time he uses it, it's almost a perfect time to use it.
And here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Kai walking up once again. Final slash coming onto him. It's going to be time journey as well. But here comes the Black Dragon farm with the Falling Star Moon on towards the backside. Prel dropping a little bit low, but Wexen is trying to push them all this way. He's trying to zone the rest of USPF, but UV drops pretty low. The Lord isn't even anywhere near low, and USPF now gaining dominance over this river.
This is one of the problems UV have been facing, the way they play mid to late game, and now they're starting to lose the fight. USPF James almost bursted down there, but again the fight 2-for-1 trade, and oh no, the USPF already has the momentum right now.
UV looks like they're trying to want to take this Lord, but it doesn't feel like G has enough damage to just burst it down as fast as possible. Baines, on the other hand, with his entropy, is going to make it easy for USPF. But look at this. UV have had this Lord area for about 2 straight minutes, and they just realized they can't do anything about it to take it down.
One problem that they have also, the way you mentioned the damage that Jay has had, he also could not deal fast enough damage to this USPF lineup as the rest of the members of the USPF tried to drop onto Senyu, but Prel was the one to fall there. Black Dragon form committed there by the Yuzong onto James. James falling low as the 3 members from UV tries to kill him, but Kai out of position right now as he also falls. 2-for-1 trade there in favor of UV, but the Lord for the USPF side.
That's right, so that's going to be him towering down towards this bottom side at 12 minutes of the match. Racine chilling here towards the orange buff, thinking about whether he's going to be able to see somebody and try and take it. I think he's waiting for Baines. He just might, but decides to back out instead, not waste his time.
A lot of back and forths in this game, as you know. One team wins the fight, then the next fight the other team wins, and just we can't know as of the moment who's winning and who's losing in this game. But Wexen right now actually left isolated in the top lane as 3 members of USPF secures the kill onto him.
So this is the good thing that USPF is doing, because when you do take the Lord for the very first time, what you want to be able to do is, while the enemy is dealing with the Lord minions and the Lord himself, you go for the pickoffs for the people that are far away, which in this case was Wexen.
Right now, actually, the position advantage and the map control that UV has had during the mid game actually now basically lost, and pretty much even USPF advantage in terms of map control and the resource control in this game.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're just heading on towards the late game here as the net worth is slowly making itself even. 1k gold lead is what UV has up against USPF.
The Nolan here not actually dying yet in this game. We've seen him play pretty well in this game, the way he picked off. But the problem is, during fights, you can't really do anything much because he just backs away, because he can't do anything also if he goes in. He can get pinned down or he can get bursted down by the heroes of USPF.
That's right. So we'll see whether or not UV and USPF see each other here. A minute before the Lord is gonna spawn. Jinyu already walking a little bit up. Prel tries to go for the stun slam there into the bush. A little bit blind, but Moby is walking up slowly as they try and zone out UV for this Lord.
A great position here actually from the Nolan, and it's just by the back bushes, right? They're waiting for the rest of the members of UV just to push in, and he waits until they back off a little bit.
That was such a perfect retribution from James as well. Exactly. Look at the cooldown on his retribution. Just exactly when the Lord spawns. So not only did they just take that purple buff, but he'll have the retribution up when the Lord is gonna be up as well.
USPF again has the advantage for this Lord. They have their possession advantage, but of course UV trying to look for something. Still, Racine wasn't able to get any pick-offs from him lurking in the bushes. I think he needs to rethink his strategies right now because he has been pretty inactive during the last 2 minutes, I think.
That's right, and here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. USPF with entropy as well,
pretty
trying
quick
to go for more. They're trying to jump onto Zinyu, but Zinyu actually leads him into this bush that reveals the rest of his team. Kyle goes down as well. Zinyu soon to follow, and the Lord goes down. But for who? It goes to USPF. They have to hold the line here. Bane's already gone. A lot of damage coming in from damage. A four-man fight coming in from the energies. Prazel as well. James goes down. Kai doing work for UV.
Oh, Kai right now actually diving onto the tier 2 tower. Prel also falling low, but 4 members already down for USPF.
The turn apart memories pops the immortality from Prel.
Oh, what a great response there from UV. They now have the advantage, but the problem is USPF got the Lord there. If they got the Lord there, they could have already won the game. But of course, the Lord was able to defend their base. The Lord was able to push a little bit UV and give more time for the rest of the members of USPF to respawn and extend this game. 16 minutes already for this game.
That's right. Look at this. Nolan as at the moment, it's like we've reverted back to the start of the game. They're just taking their buffs, clearing their jungle, waiting for the next Lord. That's pretty much how the late game goes, especially if you don't want to make any mistakes and if you don't want to group up for any concealed plays. The teams are sticking together, make sure none of them get caught out, and just trying to clear the waves as they can.
The last fight was actually also pretty interesting because you couldn't know who was winning. The bombs there was able to reveal Moby just lurking around the bushes. But again, during the last fight, it was pretty interesting because you couldn't know who was winning. Everyone was being bursted down. Like there's a burst coming from UV, then a burst coming from USPF. It just all came down to execution and how they played and how they possibly dodged other abilities that the competing team has had.
That's right, and it all goes down to how these teams are going to be able to engage up on towards each other. As you can see, there's a lot of patience now from both of these teams, a lot of respect being shown. We're 17 minutes into the game, but it doesn't even feel like we're that deep into it because of how these teams are playing. As you can see, Kai already at the edge of the bush, ready to make it out, decides to walk out as usual.
Here's an advantage of an Esmeralda. He can just easily walk out. I mean, he is pretty tanky, she is pretty tanky, and she also can deal a lot of damage. And that is one of the reasons why their UV possibly is still in this game with the utility of a falling star moon. Right now, two teams just grouping up here in the middle lane, but the Yuzong just knows he has the Black Dragon form, just playing back because he plans to just go directly to the back line of this USPF.
That's right, so here we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, slowly building up towards what could be one of the only wins of these two teams. USPF already winning their second win, and UV having yet to win their first series.
5 seconds before the Lord is now up. The position advantage is for USPF right now, but UV is pretty quick for the rotation there as they try to go in. The Lord dance actually right now, but Moby just zones out the members of UV right now. Moby actually falling pretty low, half HP right now.
The torn apart memories from G as well. Will try and burst down Moby, and now he's forced to recall, which is a bad position. Now Jinyu bursted down as well, but Kai's in the backline, ready for that falling star moon to grab the lot of USPF.
Jinyu still didn't pop the time
Look at this, just patience.
Yeah,
There's so
patience,
much
actually.
patience from both of these teams.
Patience.
They're not going for anything crazy, but the terrifier doesn't you. He popped the times journey. That's gonna be no more times journey for
no.
UV.
This is a problem.
USPF still have the heavy spin available to them.
There's a problem right now for UV as a time journey as one of their saviors for this game. Obi knows that there isn't already Kai. Oh, actually, Wixen was able to be bursted down by the entropy there. Sinju also low. He's also down. 2 members down for UV right now, but no one down for USPF as they know that they have the advantage in this fight. 3 people left for UV. They might opt to take this Lord. What a disaster for UV.
It's such a great play of rotation coming in from both of these teams because Kyle wasn't there for that team fight. He had to back down towards the bottom lane that was already being pushed, and as you can see, they lost their bottom inhibitor here, and that's where Jay is right now, going for this sneaky push yet again. UV have to try and delay this as much as possible, but if Racine is able to steal this Lord, that's going to be absolutely big for them. He's going out towards the backside. He got it! Racine takes the Lord for UV, but how is the rest gonna play out? They lose Baines. Jay successfully pushing a little bit of effort on towards the bottom side where Prel had to back out, and here we have it just on towards the back door. Bam! Retribution.
What a great play there coming from Racine. They now have the advantage in this game. And of course, we need to commend how Jay was able to rat in the bottom lane, which forced Prel to teleport back to his base and defend the bottom lane because of this ratting Brody right now. And they pretty much was able to get by Moby right now, jumping onto 2. They didn't get any kills there, but he is now half HP. The pullback, he's now falling pretty low. Racine was able to secure the kill onto him. 1 down for USPF, and just pushing onto the base. The pullback onto Prel. He has the immortality still, but the time's journey for Sinju James. The base is being pushed as UV wins their first game for the preseason. What a play!
An amazing play coming in from UV. Finally, in this preseason, taking their first series. A momentous moment indeed for this team. Very, very well played. Props go out to USPF as well. However, what else can there be done when UV played it absolutely perfectly? They even lost the times journey early on. But then again, the damage coming out from Jay with those torn apart memories, doing a lot of poke on towards Prel, just made it absolutely impossible for them. And especially because they picked off Moby in that last team fight, no more heavy spin to push out the minions away.
Exactly.
And that was when all was lost for USPF.
The times journey also pretty good utility, but again, Racine with a Nolan pick.
That's right.
Asset problem, but it was a Nolan pick and it was pretty good. He didn't die even once. He didn't show any weakness during that game. He had always perfect positioning, and he was able to get a lot of pick-offs for that game.
Yeah,
pretty good.
And here we have it. We're going to be able to see a lot of engages really, really early on from both of these teams actually. Trying to show dominance, but at the same time showing patience. And there you have it. A little bit of a pick-off as we can see from the highlights. But then again, in between these two teams, they sort of have the same play style, but they've gone towards different drafts for it because they are able of doing pickoffs and they're also able to go for these full team fights.
Sure. It's also pretty interesting that this game also had a lot of back and forths, right? Pretty much back and forth all this time. USPF has the advantage and now UV has the advantage, but of course during the late game, the execution coming from UV, and when they use their abilities perfectly and the positioning, they just won the game instantly.
They did, and that's gonna be such an amazing play here coming in from UV, taking their first game. And look at how well timed the times journey is there from Jin Yu. And this is when they try and go for a dive here, but they actually end up losing too with a pullback from Benz and a rotation from Racine.
They tried to answer back there with a kill onto Jay there, but of course, quick response coming from UV. I think that has been the staple in this game. The quick responses coming from both teams. When someone gets picked off, the rest of the members just respond. Again, we see how important and how essential the times journey is. As one member actually survived here, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Sinju was able to survive that supposedly 2-0 trade. And this is the fight in which, again, a lot of members still picking off. It's just a straight up brawl. Not much people dying. But there's a lot of fighting happening, right? And it's a long fight, but not much people dying. It's just 3 people dying, and that's it.
Yeah, and here we have it once again, a jump in from a lot of UV here, showing a lot of dominance at this point of the game. And it's this kind of dominant plays that USPF actually, dare I say, gave too much respect for. Because if USPF committed their own all-in, especially without the times journey, it is going to be a little bit of a problem for them to try and stop the rest of UV.
Yeah, also, they caught Kai, I think, a lot of times misposition.
They were able to.
But the problem is, he's too tanky and he's too fast.
He just walks out of it.
He walks away.
So many times.
A lot of times, this has been a problem for them because they committed already. They rotated. 4 of them rotated, but they wasn't able to get any kills and they're forced to reset and just waste their time as the rest of the members of UV just farming. This was the Lord in which Vexana was able to take. Again, UV, I think, won this fight. I know this was the complete brawl with this complete straight burst. Again, right now, coming from Rezin, they burst and Rezin almost also bursted down, but Bane Amubi was able to fall there first, and UV just completely capitalized on this and just killed the rest of the members, leaving just Prel during that clash.
Yeah, so again, you can see the kind of dominance that both of these teams are capable of, yet at times the decision comes into whether or not they're going to be able to do it. They're having a little bit of a problem communicating when they're actually going to try and commit, which is why you see a lot of these back and forths happening. So when UV stopped thinking about that and turned off their brain and just completely went for these fights, like the way Racine didn't think twice about trying to steal that Lord. These are the kind of plays that give you the win at the end of the day.
We didn't see it actually, but the perfectly timed falling Star Moon also by Esmeralda was also committed there onto 3. And actually, when Nolan was able to steal that Lord, he was also able to kill 1. And that was a great play coming from them because it's a 2-0. And they got the Lord and they got the complete momentum just because of that one play.
Yeah, you don't understand. The Ling as well as the Hayabusa were thrown out of the picture very early on by USPF in the draft phase. But as long as there's an assassin available, Racine will pick that up. And that's going to be the Nolan carrying actually as well for a very good chunk of the game, UV towards this next victory.
One of the heroes that maybe other competitors should watch out for. I think the Nolan was pretty good. I think, he deserves the respect bans. Racine, the way he played, he deserves the respect bans that he had. And of course, he got 2 MVP, and I think is going to be the series MVP.
Yeah, it just might. But
there's 2 wins.
Of course,
2 wins.
Ladies and gentlemen, between these 2 games, and a very electrifying Game 3 is brought to you by CL, co-presented by Dito Community, at Dito Telecommunity. Of course, the Dito Bigay Todo.
And of course, let's also not forget to thank our major sponsors.
That's right.
Of course, firstly, PC Express, PH's leading computer and tech retailer. Huge selection of desktop PCs, laptops, smartphones, gaming gear, PC components, and accessories from top brands. And of course,
right.
PC Express
for all your digital needs. And of course, we can't forget about the people that have been with us since day one. Virginia Foods Incorporated has supported CEL since season 1. It's a food manufacturing company that has touched the lives of every Filipino with their premium canned and frozen processed meat
tasty
products. Ladies and gentlemen, you know it. Say it with me. Basta Hotdog, Virginia.
And of course, our minor sponsors, the company Cebu. Right? You can say
this
the
is
beauty of the company.
So my mom was wondering where I was going on the Saturday. So where you going? So The company. I'm going to the company, man. Like, come on, man. I'm an
You
adult.
should know. You
Like,
should
I'm
know.
grown up. I'm an adult. I'm going to the Where else am I gonna go?
I'm going to work in the company, right?
And it's the best place to do work as well. They got Wi-Fi if you need it. They got air conditioning. Really nice.
Some
tables
great
and
paintings.
chairs. Yeah, I've been
great.
casting super comfortably on this chair. Like, this is an
look at this.
office chair, amazingly given to us by the company Cebu. And of course, another minor sponsor that we have is Crayon Labs. So if you guys are in the market for trying to print stuff on your ID slings, I don't know, you want a picture of your crush there, it doesn't matter. You can have stickers as well. You can have like these kinds of stickers all around your water bottle if you want. Crayon Labs has got you covered. So hit them up, see if they can get any work done for you. And yeah, those are pretty much all the sponsors so far that we've had in this preseason.
But still, let's talk more about the game, right? We've talked about how USPF was having like pretty weak early games, and during
That's
that
right.
game, actually they had like an okay one. They answered back. There was no clear momentum from UV during that game. They probably fixed one of their errors during the past few games that they've had, but UV also answered back with their own, right?
That's
the
true.
the draft, it just all came to the draft, and the draft just made a lot of problems for USPF there, even if they did a good job adjusting their strategies during the early game.
That's true. So coming in towards this game, what do you think USPF could have done differently, or what did they do right in that first game that let them take the win then, but then they just completely lost in the second and third game?
I think during the drafting is very important, right? The way their game one was, they were able to pick off some heroes, right?
They were.
Their pickoffs from game one were pretty quick because of the drafts. During game two and game three, we almost didn't see any pickoffs coming from USPF side.
That's right.
Because the problem is, for them to pick off, they can't just do it with 2 people. They can't just do it with 3 people. They need 4. They need like perfectly layered spells onto the softest or the squishiest hero of UV, and that has been lacking for the USPF side. And of course that brings a lot of momentum for your side, because if your team has the man disadvantage, then you're always going to play safe, and you can't do any initiations. You're going to play safe, and you're going to stay on your jungle, complete farming, and that could be more rotations, more advantage when it comes to rotations for the USPF side.
That's right. And speaking of playing it safe, that is what I noticed very early on. Because in the first game, USPF played it very, very patiently. Even when they got a 5k gold lead, they waited until it was around like 7k before they were like, alright, we can finally take these guys. Let's play a little bit more offensively, play a little bit more aggressively. And that's the kind of problem that you have, because in very clutch situations where you don't get a net worth lead that big, when there's no snowball that happens for your team, sometimes you just gotta book it. Like, even if you have the same amount of net worth, you feel like they're just as strong as you just have to trust in your players, trust that they're gonna be able to have the individual skill to just beat out their counterparts coming into this game.
That's right. And of course, we see that from the USPF a lot. But of course, one major problem also from USPF is that when it comes to positioning, UV has the advantage almost all the time. The way
That's
their
right.
damage dealers position themselves during fights, the way they jump onto the backline, for example. And one very clear example from that is the way Nathan had been during the past game, like
That's
the game
right.
3. When we see the fights, right, Nathan was in the middle.
He was.
Could not do significant damage to the people. He could easily burst down, by the way.
Yeah.
He could easily burst down the Nolan. He could easily burst down most of the members.
And this was it, ladies and gentlemen. Racin's amazing Hayabusa run that clutched that game 2 for the rest of UV. That's going to be a lot of damage as well coming in from G. And this is the kind of plays that you're going to be able to appreciate coming from the side
again,
of
the
UV.
wall.
Yeah, look at this. Amazing wall. Jin Yu, such a good support
Yeah,
as well
Jin Yu.
for the side of UV.
He had great showing both the games that they won. The Diggies, the time journey that they've had, the way
That's right.
perfectly timed it. Of course, there's some misplays, of course. But the essential ones was able to gain let them gain a lot of momentum. And of course, the walls coming from this Grok was just amazing. And the
Look
wild
at that, right there. Yeah.
Huh? Brel is now isolated from his whole team, and Jed just easily
Shreds him
free
down.
real estate.
Yeah,
Shreds
picks him off. And that's going to be a little bit of a problem as well, because you're going to have to try and appreciate your supports, ladies and gentlemen. You get jump into rap games, you look at your support, alright? Just know, it's your supports that got you here.
Is not only the carries
No, sir.
that are important for the game. The supports are very essential, of course. The way the rotations have been. Mubi has just been, I think, out-supported during this game.
So we're gonna have to talk as well about something that's confused me this entire series. I can't get it off my head. Why did they ban Bane? that was just, I don't know. Again, because it wasn't picked, we'll never really know what the Bane could have done, but that's something to fear then if they're really worried about that much snowball in the form of a Bane.
I'm not really sure because is Bane buff? I don't know, right? If he got buff, maybe.
I mean, he's got sharks and they're pretty scary.
Yeah,
so
and he can spin. He got big spin.
Yeah, so I'm scared. He can as well. He can spit with his with a beer he drank. So I don't know if I want that in my game either. I would ban Bane.
But still, if I see a Bane in this lineup, I just see a more squishy team that can easily be taken down by Nolan. And I think a Bane, I think that was just a misban, honestly. But if not, then I don't understand. Maybe it's beyond my knowledge.
God, that was just a Kai and Reese. Yeah, you were right. I see it now. I saw the falling star moon
onto
land
3.
down.
Just locks down the 3 heroes and just a free steal.
It's just complete synergy. They were like, yo, let's go.
Let's go. Falling star moon in 3, 2, 1, boom.
Go. And then they got it, right? And then there's no time to celebrate in these kinds of moments because you take the Lord, but then what comes after? Because if they got the Lord and they got team wiped, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah,
right?
it wouldn't have mattered.
USPF still would have ended the game. So they still had to lock in. So while we were screaming, yo, you took the Lord, they were just
locked in.
They were just
locked in.
Like that. They were just like that. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, although this is a team game in Mobile Legends, there has to be one person that will stand out, and that's going to be our series MVP. And we're going to have him for a special interview. So we'll pass it on to our hosts.
VP of the series, we have Raisin. Hey Raisin, how are you feeling right now? Okay, Kayo. Okay, so our first question, my first question for you is how did you prepare for today's game?
Ambot unsa ano pagtubag kay kuwang man jud may practice pero may nga
Hello Raisin, are you still there?
Yes ma'am. Like usay magkuwang og practice.
Oh no, I think we've lost Raisin. Okay, well, that's it for now, CEL fans. No, let's wait for a little bit if we can see Raisin still coming back into the feed.
Hello.
Before that, let me thank our sponsors, Dito Telecommunity. Dito Telecommunity sa Dito Bigay Todo, of course, Virginia Foods Incorporated, Basta Hot Dog, Virginia, and lastly, PC Express. PC Express for all your digital needs. So, Raisin, are you back?
Yes ma'am.
Hello, Raisin?
Hello. Wala ko tingog. Na ko tingog lagi. Bisa ka do?
Okay. I can't hear you, unfortunately, Raisin. Can you talk again right now?
Hello.
Okay, there, I've already heard you. So, again, for my first, how did you prepare for today's game?
Amurang confident ang nagpa-prepare ron kay mostly dili may maka-practice kada adlaw kay tungod lagi busy ang uban and among gipaning kamutan nga makadaog ron para basin day makasud mi sa playoffs.
Okay, well, a really good job. So for my second question, this is based off that our game or our series ended in 2-1. So what were your lapses in the first game that you succumbed to the power of your opponent?
Kuana ako tong sala nga ni overextend ko and among good lane kay niingon nga shot ko siya back na kay low HP siya and niana ko nga musuko lang and mao to na bali pang momentum sa USPF.
So, pambawi din mo, no? Si ikaw na yun na MVP. Anyway, for our last question, can you give a shout out to your fans, family, and friends?
And shout out sa akong yab nga si Shari Cortez and sa akong family nga nagtanaw sa kusina. Kaya sige sila giyaw-yaw kay ngano daw sige ko farm.
Sige, dekag ML ha. Okay, well, that's it for now, CEL fans. Thank you very much, Raisin. And congratulations on being our MVP for the series. That's it for now, CEL fans. As mentioned, we have our sponsors, Dito Telecommunity, Virginia Foods Incorporated, and PC Express. Special thanks as well to Crayon Lab Custom Apparel and Digital Prints, and of course, the company Cebu. Don't forget that you may feel the on-game heat from the comfort of your seats through following our social media page, CESAFI Esports League on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. This is Eureka, your CEL host, here in the battlefield for the CESAFI Esports League Season 3. We forge legends.
Thank you.
we're picking them up. Ski skeet, then I'm kicking up dust. Uber picking them up. Skeet, skeet, then I'm kicking up dust. beep, Uber picking them up. Ski skeet, then I'm kicking up dust. people, but picking them up. Ski skeet, then I'm kicking up dust.
It's the final week of the preseason group stage, but the excitement is far from over with the thrilling game series we have lined up for you, only here at the CESAFI Esports League. For our next game, we have the USPF Panthers going head-to-head against the USJ-R Adelante. The USJ-R Adelante is on the roll this preseason, aiming for their 4th straight win after an undefeated group stage. They recently triumphed over UC Main in a clash of preseason powerhouses. Meanwhile, the USPF Panthers are looking to secure their 2nd win, who will emerge victorious and further prove themselves this preseason. Stay tuned to our live broadcast to find out. And of course, we love hearing your thoughts on our social media. So don't forget to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at CESAFI Esports League. A big shout out to our sponsors for making this event possible. Dito Telecommunity, ipakita ang galing saan man galing. Virginia Food Incorporated, Pasta Hotdog, Virginia. Also, PC Express for all your digital needs. Special thanks also to the company Cebu Mandaue and Crayon Lab Custom Apparel and Digital Prints. Now, let us witness the match between the USPF Panthers and the USJ-R Adelante in the Land of Dawn.
Hello mga ka-CEL! We are back once again on our last week of the CESAFI Esports League Preseason. Today we will have the game between University of the Philippine Foundation Panthers versus the University of San Jose-Recoletos Adelante.
Partner, of course, we will not be heading on to our matchups without introducing ourselves. I am, by the way, the first ever female caster of the CESAFI Esports League, Kiyoshi, and together with me is one of our phenomenal gentlemen here in the caster department, which is none other than...
I am your Kevsu.
And of course, here we are excited on what the Panthers and the people are from the USJ-R is gonna bring into the table here. But of course, this will not be possible without our sponsors.
Yeah.
First off is PC Express, the leading computer and tech retailer here in the Philippines with a huge selection of desktop PCs, laptops, smartphones, gaming gear, PC components, and accessories from top brands. And you all know it, PC Express for all your digital needs.
And let us not forget also the Virginia Food Incorporated, a food manufacturing company that touched the lives of Filipinos with its premium canned and frozen processed meat products. Partner, basta hotdog.
Virginia.
Yeah.
And of course, we have a new addition to our sponsor lineups, which is none other than Dito Telecommunity. Ipakita ang galing saan man galing.
Hey. And let us not forget to thank also the beautiful venue that we have here. Kudos to the company Cebu. Ang ganda ng venue natin. Napakaginaw and wow, what a very good ambience dito sa the company Cebu, guys.
That is right. And medyo I'm at a disadvantage here kasi nga sabi mo ang lambing. And here I am wearing a very thin dress. Tas dito si Kepso dito guys, naka-jacket lang guys. Ready to hindi ko expect. But company's ambience as well as the place is really perfect for any productive duties or tasks you will have. You have group or parang mga meetings, pwede kayo dito. You wanna study, pwede din dito. You wanna hang with friends, pwede din talaga dito. So make sure to head on to the company any chance you get. And of course, let's not forget about Crayon Lab. Sobrang ganda talaga dito. I actually am considering to maybe tap onto Crayon Lab for some merch na parang iniisip ko for this organization I'm affiliated with.
Pingesa.
Ayoko.
Why?
Doon ka sa Crayon
Ay.
Lab.
Marunong din guys, marunong din. But now partner, let us head to our game ngayon between USPF and USJ-R. USPF lost kanina lang against UV.
Yeah.
They na-reverse sweep sila, and that was very unfortunate for them.
That's true.
And now, USPF really needs to win against USJ-R on this game for them to continue their lives sa CEL.
This is a determining matchup talaga for the side of USPF because they will have to put all efforts, all strategies, and all knowledge they have in this game, and as well as against USJ-R, who is en route to a perfect group stage record, because this might be, for the side of USPF, might be the end of their preseason journey.
Yeah, USPF will face ano ba yan? Yung parang Great Wall of China on their group stage. Kasi that's undefeated ang USJ-R. Kailangan nila magiba yung wall na yon for them to pass through sa ating playoffs.
That's right. They really will have to let it out. Lahat-lahat talaga. Walang no hesitations dapat. Dapat ilalabas talaga nila kung ano man ang kaya nila to defeat USJ-R in order to continue their journey here in the preseason of the CESAFI Esports League, partner.
And actually, this is a slight disadvantage for USPF kasi nga naglaro na sila kanila. So, let's see if that will affect their game today against USJ-R.
That's right.
Or naka-reset na sila kanina. Like, guys, pawi, may laro pa tayo mamaya. So, babawi tayo.
It's a game of mentality din. Kasi yung moral nila, reverse sweep sila kanina, that is gonna give them, a little bit of a damp mood.
Yeah.
Sana hindi nila dadalhin dito sa match nila against USJ-R because USJ-R is a known powerhouse in this series.
Tama ka dyan, partner. So, what will be the strategy of USPF here to defeat USJ-R, which is a well-known top seed on their group stage? So, ano kaya? Makakakita ba tayo dito ng reverse sweep or maybe a sweep or ano kaya? Let's just say, ano ba yung term? Nakalimutan ko.
Sige. Isipin mo
Sige.
habang as the game goes along. But then again, it is true. USJ-R is a very formidable opponent. You will have to really know how to read them and be prepared in terms of your lineup, which will be going into in a matter of moments.
And now, let us proceed to our draft pick. So, we have here the USJ-R with their line of Danjuro, Wanji, Z, Sillyborge, and Sierra V3.
Of course, we also have the lineup for USPF. We have Moby, James,
Nagpalit
dito,
lang.
Prel, Kyle, and Bane. So, dito, first off, Fanny Band, agad-agad.
Kasi nga, si Sillyborge yung naglaro this time for USJ-R, and he is also one of the well-known Fanny main here in Cebu. So, that's why USPF gusto nila na at yung hero na yon is mawala ka agad for Sillyborge para konti na lang yung magiging hero pool niya.
That's right. Because the way Sillyborge handles Fanny will really be a problem if USPF does not ban that hero off from USJ-R. And of course, we can also see a Ling ban here together with a Popol and Copra ban.
So as you can see, prior ban talaga ng USPF dito yung mga jungle na hero.
Oh yeah, that's right. So parang they are gonna go again. Parang yung strategy nila is they're gonna give a hard time to the jungler of USJ-R para maybe malalamangan nila yung USJ-R sa jungle side, jungle aspect in the game.
So by this draft for the first two bans and first pick of USPF, parang makikita natin na pinaghandaan talaga niya yung USPF, no? Kasi they are restricting Sillyborge to use his jungle heroes, especially the Fanny and Ling. And on to their first pick, we have the Arlot.
Madaming movement to si Arlot. So parang, I see Arlot jungle ba? Or,
Actually,
I believe so.
Actually, Arlot is a flex pick na ngayon, no, sa ating meta. Yeah, it could be a roam, an XP, Bihira lang yung mga nagja-jungle Arlot, but usually sa roam at XP lane talaga siya.
That's right. Tamang-tama yan. And of course, we can see for the side of USJ-R here, Florine and a Moscow. So yung Florine natin, sobrang ganda ng sustain na mabibigay ng Florine natin dito for USJ-R. And of course, there is that Moscow. Nakikita na natin to from the previous games, from previous schools and previous matchups. This hero is really must be taken seriously kasi yung peers nito, especially if you're lining up together in a row, will really be something that you will have to be careful.
And actually that Florine pick is a good pick for USJR. No, grabe yung sustain na mabibigay nila sa late game. And now also a Yuzong. Wow. I mean, the first 3 picks of USJR really show na gusto talaga nilang gusto nila na either early or late game lamang sila.
That's true. And of course, with the Black Dragon form dito sa ating Yuzong natin, sana naman, no? Kasi yung, nung nag-cast tayong dalawa from previous weeks ago, yung Yuzong, yung Black Dragon form, ginagamit to escape very risky situations. Sana dito, it'll be utilized better. And I believe USJ-R will be able to pull that off. Then again, USPF does have that Esmeralda and Harris. So si James dito will have to be very precise in where he's gonna place that falling moon and stars dito, especially towards that Florine and Moscow for the side of USJR.
Ooh, but the signature pick of USJR, Gushon. But hindi pa natin alam kung magiging Gushon mid ba yan ni Danjero or jungle Gushon is Liburge. And wow, USJR really playing mind games on USPF here as USPF lock on their last 2 picks, which is the Barretts and the Chips.
The Chips. Dito idol ko to si Chips X. Mahilig din ako sa Chips. Anyway, beside that, that's beside the point here. Pero yung Barretts talaga natin, may Arlot din. Parang medyo on the damage side yung USJ-R dito. And for USPF naman, medyo on the tanky side yung lineup nila. So parang nagsasagutan lang talaga yung lineup nila. What's gonna happen is here is kung paano nila gagawin, paano sila mag-perform as they go about the matchup, which will happen in a matter of